Hi everyone, Brian Valerio, VP in the Proxy Solicitation Group at Alliance Advisors, back with another CorpGov alert. Today I'm going to talk about the Center for Political Accountability's stats that they put out at the end of 2020, discussing the success of their political disclosure shareholder proposal. So the key takeaway is that average support for the political disclosure resolution continued to increase in 2020, and it actually increased pretty substantially in 2020. The average support was up to 41.9%, and this is up from 36.4% from 2019. This again is according to the stats that the Center for Political Accountability put out at the end of 2020. They also went through some stats for some specific individual institutional investors to talk about how their support has changed in 2020. 2020 was a presidential election year, so there was a lot of focus on the political disclosure proposals that were put forth this year, and it seems like some of the largest institutional investors also increased their support this year. And those numbers were outlined in this recent release where these stats were included. So some of the important stats that I took away from this release was that State Street supported these proposals about 45% of the time in both 2019 and 2020. So they supported them about half the time, both in 2019 and 2020. That's a pretty good sample size. Shows that they are a pretty strong supporter, a pretty strong proponent of these proposals. They are the most ardent supporter, if you will, of this proposal among any of the big three between Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street. They are the most likely to support this proposal for the past couple of years. Fidelity, Fidelity Management and Research significantly increased its support in 2020. It supported the proposal about 15% of the time, almost 16% of the time it voted on it. JP Morgan had a massive increase. JP Morgan Investment Management had a significant increase in their support levels for this proposal. According to these stats, their increase in support was about 45% increase. So now they're supporting these proposals at a far more frequent basis, or supported them at a far more frequent basis in 2020 than they did in 2019. Same holds true even more so for Wellington Management Company. Their increase was almost 50 percentage points, so a massive jump for Wellington. And T. Rowe also saw a very large jump, nearly a 40% increase jump. They increased 39.8% according to these stats. So these stats just show that there was a significant increase in support in 2020 for political disclosure shareholder proposals. Again, this isn't entirely surprising given that it was an election year. It was a very contentious election year in the United States. So that could have been one of the key catalysts that led to the increased support for political disclosure proposals. It will be interesting to see in 2021 and beyond, when it's less of a key election year. There's no presidential election, there's no really key Senate races in 2021. If there's this same type of support from institutional investors for these proposals, and if the proposals will be submitted as frequently in 2021 as they were in 2020. So those are some things that we're going to keep an eye out for. We'll update you guys if we have any updates for you on this proposal going forward. Thanks.